He's bad, he's dangerous, and he is a thriller. Tonight I'm interviewing Michael Jackson, who is speaking publicly for the first time in many, many years. Let me tell you how all this came about. I had asked him several earlier last year, would he be a part of an interview? Not really asked him. We wrote a letter, and then we didn't get a letter back, and we didn't hear anything for months. And then one day I was in my house and the phone rang, and I picked up the phone. Hello. And he said, hi, Oprah, this is Michael. Michael who? Michael. He said, this is Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson? I said, this is Michael Jackson? I put down the phone. I ran in the other room where the executive producer, Debbie, was. She was over at my house, and I went, Debbie! Debbie! Michael Jackson's on the phone! Michael Jackson! It's him! It really is him! I go back to the phone. I went, hi, Michael. How are you? And ever since then, we've been setting up this interview. Things have been so busy around here. A few weeks ago, I arranged to make a commercial with Michael. So I flew out to his California ranch. I did. I was really excited. I couldn't decide what because you're going to meet Michael Jackson. What are you going to wear? So I had this whole big thing in the hotel room about should I wear this and should I wear that. So my staff and I tried to pick out the right outfit. Should I wear the red jacket or the black suit or the glitzy gown or just a kind of a casual sweater? I finally made up my mind, and we left my hotel room with some clothes on my back and headed for Michael's ranch, where we shot a TV commercial. And shooting this was a day to finish this commercial. So everybody has their favorite Michael Jackson moments, and one of mine is this flashback back in 1984. Somebody should have told me. Anyway, tonight I talked to Michael Jackson himself live. Everybody keeps asking me. I mean, this morning I left my building and the guys were working on the building and they said, hey, Oprah, when are you going to talk to Michael? I said, tonight, live. It's live. But today we gathered together some of his best celebrity friends to talk about the man who hasn't talked himself publicly in years. Later on, we're going to hear from Brooke Shields and Dick Clark and Motown legends Smokey Robinson and Gladys Knight, among others. But first up is the living legend who just happens to be one of Michael's closest friends. She even got married at his estate. Elisabete Tylor joins us on the phone. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Oprah.
Great to have you talk to us about Michael. You probably know him, I think, better than anybody. Would you say?
Well, we are so close. We're like soul brothers. We're like joined at the hip. And I could tell Michael anything and know it would be private and confidential and stay with him forever. And I know he feels the same way about me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, Oprah,
yes.
I would love when I'm up at the ranch, you know, when you're doing the filming, I'm going to be there, to hold Michael's hand and hold your hand. And I want to see you do the Michael Jackson thing.
Well, I look forward to seeing you there. I look forward to seeing you there tonight, because Michael had said from the beginning that he wanted you to be there, not necessarily to be interviewed, but just to sort of to be there for support for him. Do you think this is good that he's doing this tonight?
Well, I do, and I'm one of the people that talked him into doing it.
Yeah, he told me.
I trust you, and I know that there is such a vulnerability and sensitivity about Michael that people don't understand that he can be very hurt by the press.
Why do you think he is so misunderstood?
Because he doesn't try and explain himself. He just lets things ride. He doesn't fight it.
Do you think, Elisabete, that you all are such close friends because you have had similar missed childhoods growing up in the eyes of the public?
Oh, I think that has a great deal to do with it. Mm-hmm. Being child stars and missing out on all the normal things that people growing up go through.
What is it you want the world to know most about him?
what a good man he is, how generous he is, how real and sincere he is, by all the garbage written about him.
Yeah, there's so
that
much.
makes me so angry. But I did think that it was time for him to set some of the things straight on the record.
Yeah, well, that's what we intend to do tonight, is set some things straight, and I'll see you tonight.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, thank you,
Looking
Elisabete
forward to
Tylor.
seeing you.
Michael Jackson gave her a ring, and she says they have crushes on each other. Brooke Shields talks about her feelings for Michael right after this. We'll be right back. Whenever my next guest appeared at Michael's side, she was the envy of all of his female fans, especially when rumors broke out that they were a really hot item. Brooke Shields joins us by the crackling fire via satellite. Great to talk to you, Brooke. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
What makes Michael such a good friend, do you think?
Well, I think that his sensitivity, his honesty. I mean, as a friend, I've known him for so many years, and what I felt...
How many years? How
almost
long?
More importantly than anything, we were both about, see, I was 14, I think. Mm-hmm. And I think because we both grew up in the same business, and we had similar upbringings in the sense that we were, you know, we had to begin in this business at a very young age. We learned a sense of, we had defense mechanisms that we had built up. And I think once we met each other, we realized that we didn't really have to be wary of one another. And that enabled us to build a friendship on a very different level. Do the unfortunate, nasty comments and criticisms about him, do they upset you? Make you angry? They upset me constantly. Mm-hmm. I'm constantly upset by what people say. I mean, first of all, granted, you take everything with a grain of salt, and there are many things said about me that are unkind that I don't find pleasurable. But so many people really don't know him, and they don't give him a chance, and they're so ready to criticize. And I think what happens is when you see genius, and when you see a talent that is just unstoppable and untouchable, the first reaction people have is to criticize it. Mm-hmm. Because it scares them, it threatens them, and in order to augment their own self-worth, they feel that they have to belittle him. And you know, he's a sensitive human being who, you know, all of the negativity really, it does affect him and it hurts him. Mm-hmm.
So I want to know what the real deal is, Brooke, between the two of you. Could you just tell, like, what were you, now, I'm not asking about now, but were you kind of like, let's see, what's the word? Was there romance going on? Were you all kind of romantically involved? Was there like ever an exchange of, you know, rings or anything, or?
Well, actually, I think right now, let me say that I believe that we're closer now than we ever were. I think we love each other more now than we even knew we did when we were younger.
Really?
We used to, well, because we had fun when we were younger. I mean, it was, okay, and we were sort of a source of relief.
This is a question. Did you have a crush on him, or did he have a crush on you?
I think we both had a crush, and still do have a crush on each other. I mean, I think part of having a crush on someone is admiring them. Mm-hmm. Almost, I mean, we have a lot of fun together. And I mean, it's almost unfortunate because we know each other so well. But, I mean, he amazes me every time I sit down and talk to him about something really important.
Does he feel more like a brother to you, though, than, say, a boyfriend, though?
It's hard to say. I mean, I find it's a love on a different level. I mean, I feel closer to him than some of the boyfriends that I've had. I mean, I feel more relaxed around him, mm-hmm, or more comfortable with him than I do. So it's sort of, and I mean, I've never really had a brother. There is part of that. But it's like a love on a very different level, and it's hard to really explain. And whenever I've tried to explain it to people, it's been misinterpreted. And it's a shame because it hurts him, too, when he feels that people misinterpret the way we feel about each other.
Okay.
And he gave me the most incredibly beautiful ring that you can ever imagine. And of course, then people built that out of proportion, and they said we were engaged, and it wasn't about that. It was a friendship ring that when he gave it to me, it was the most adorable thing. We hadn't really ever exchanged gifts before. And
are you wearing it by now, Brooke? Are you?
No, I'm not. Because I'm working. I didn't wear. I know. I'm sorry. That'll be its own show, Oprah.
Well, as you know, he's doing his first interview tonight. What advice do you have for your close friend? And what do you think of him doing this interview? You think this is good?
I think it's good because I think people need to hear him speak, and I think they will only be even more warmed by his presence. They'll be more pleasantly surprised. I think a lot of what happens is people don't understand him because they have no real concept of who he is. They see him professionally and they have no idea what he is personally. Now, granted, that's his prerogative. I think it's fine when people don't want to speak out in public if they don't feel like it. But I think it can only help him because the people that already love him will just love him more. Those who don't think they love him will just come away loving him. I mean, my advice to him, which I've even told him personally, is to just be himself because that's what people are going to love.
I think you're right. Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you.
Just a few days ago, we caught up with Dick Clark, who has some definite opinions about Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson is his own man. He is determined. He's probably driven. When he wants to do something, he does it, and he does it to perfection. I've had sort of a strange relationship with him over the years because I'm one of the few people who say, no, we're not going to do that. I treat him like one of my kids. I've teased him about he is my fourth child. I love him. I like him. I'm protective, but I will say no to him on occasion. I don't care if he's a star. He is. He doesn't need me to say that. He's my friend. He came over to dinner one night and I said, Michael, things are going great, but I'm worried about you. He said, oh, really? What do you mean? He said, you're getting more and more inward. You're getting so reclusive. Why don't you get out amongst the people? I said, I can't. I can't have so many people. I said, you love going to Disneyland. Get a fat suit. He said, what's a fat suit? And I showed him, he did indeed do that. He did get out into public, but it's so hard for people who get to be so popular. They can't go to the hardware store. I used to run into at the ice cream store in Encino. Those were the good old days, and I want him to get some of that back.
Next, Motown legends who knew Michael from the very start tell about the boy wonder who grew up to be the world's biggest superstar. Suzanne DePass convinced Berry Gordy, and the rest is history. Next up is the woman whose exotic look graced hundreds of magazine covers. Michael cast her as an Egyptian queen in his video, Remember the Time? She's supermodel Iman. Iman, what was your experience with him now, the Michael icon superstar?
Having a childhood.
His desire to play at a time when play was indicated was very, intense. And he did love to draw cartoons and watch TV, and he's a big gossip, He loves to gossip. I've never had anybody who loved gossip more than Michael.
Coming up next, some of the funniest things I've ever heard grown women admit when they reveal their fantasies about the man who thrills them, Michael Jackson. Coming back. His fans agree that Michael Jackson isn't only bad, but wait until you hear what else they think of him. These stories are so funny, they crack me up. Take a look, please.
I'd die if I ever got to meet him because he's just so great.
Oh, he's lovely.
This is like this with the Beatles.
Till we see him.
I saw him! I love you, Michael.
23 years Michael Jackson has been in our life. Okay?
Very big deal.
Yeah.
23 years.
This is him. This is the guy we fell in love with, right?
I fell in love. I was planning my wedding at 9. Truly planning my wedding. I was convinced that I would marry this man, and I am still waiting.
When I was 5 and 6, my girlfriend and I were Michael and Marlon's wives.
Would I marry him today? Absolutely. I still think I'm going to marry him.
I was so in love with Michael that the majority of my boyfriend's name was Michael.
I
I wanted to be black. Literally wanted to be black because I thought that I could marry Michael Jackson. I know that sounds awful. I'm not trying to be prejudiced.
I would actually take Michael's picture with me to the bathroom and put him on the commode. But, you know, while I'll straddle the seat, but while I'm actually using it, I'll cover his eyes so he couldn't see anything.
Started out very small. Started out with me lying and saying that I had met him after the concert. My friend Lisa and I had met him after the concert. And the girl was so gullible, she believed it, and I just went with it. And for months, I had her thinking that I was dating Michael Jackson. Months. And she would call and I would go, oh, he's so sweet. I just got off the phone with Michael from California. And she's like, can I meet him and all this stuff? And finally my mom said to me one day, you know what? Wouldn't you hate it if someone did that to you?
We would have lovely children together, too. I thought we'd make a nice coupling. I really was convinced.
We made a pact for my girlfriends, me, Lottie, Brunetta, and this girl named Glenda. And we wasn't gonna never stop loving the Jackson 5. So Glenda, she liked Jermaine, and she went into puberty, and she came and told us like she was our mother hen or something. She says, I come to tell you that I don't like Jermaine anymore. I got a boyfriend. And me and Lottie just looked at each other, and we just cried. We're like, we're not gonna stop loving you, Michael and Marlon.
I didn't understand that his last name was Jackson. I thought his name was Jackson 5. So I would get pieces of paper and staple them together and make a checkbook and wheel my doll buggy around town shopping and sign my checks, Mrs. Michael Jackson 5. I thought that was what his wife would do.
I told you. It cracked me up. I thought I was bad being in love with Jackie Jackson. Next, what happened when the king of basketball, Michael Jordan, came face to face with the king of pop, Michael Jackson? But first, take a look at one of the most talked about music videos ever. It's really quite impressive, I think. Yeah. Everywhere I've gone since I announced that I was talking live to Michael Jackson, live, that's live again tonight, in his first interview in many years, people are stopping me and begging me to ask him everything you can imagine. So we sent some crews out around the country to find out what America wants to know from Michael.
Hey, Oprah, I want you to ask Michael, how's he gonna outdo himself now?
Can you ask Michael if he ever has time to be by himself?
Hey, Oprah, I want to know, what's Michael Jackson's favorite flavor of ice cream?
Hi, Oprah. I'd like you to ask Michael Jackson. Does he have a girlfriend?
Does Michael Jackson ever intend on having any of his own children?
When is he gonna get married?
You can let him know that if he has not decided, I think he's exquisite. I love to look at him. That I am single and cut.
I would like to teach Michael some new steps.
How does he feel about his young sister's success, Janet Jackson?
I'd like you to ask Michael who his inspiration is.
What prevents him from getting back in touch with his family? Let him know I'm available, and I'll catch you later.
Coming up, a look at some of Michael's biggest hits. Back in a moment. All started with a phone call, and tonight I'll be talking to the biggest superstar in the world, Michael Jackson, live, who hasn't done an interview in years. But tonight he's chosen to talk to me live and the entire world via satellite, from Sweden to Zimbabwe to New Zealand to Indonesia. That's right, leave it to Michael Jackson not to do anything small. Even his first interview, see you tonight with Michael, live around the world.